Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone. Hamas Abdul Rahimzai here, and in today's session we will be covering the ECCA foundation level paper, first paper FA1, and we will be covering and giving an overall overview of this paper, what it does contain, um, how to track the questions, how much this paper helps you in your further ACCA or foundation level progress. So let's start. Particularly in this session, we will be covering some areas. Firstly, we will have an introduction. Introduction with what? With ACCA, with FIA, and FA1. We will know what are these. The second thing, the course roadmap. What it does contain this paper. The syllabus and learning pathway. The third and important point or area that we will be covering is the exam structure, the exam format, question types, and study strategy. So, the first thing is what FIA. FIA is an abbreviation. It stands for a uh, Foundations in Accountancy, and it's an entry-level qualification designed for beginners with little or no prior accounting knowledge. It serves as the perfect starting point before progressing to the full ACCA professional qualification pathway. So, normally ACCAs are pursued by people who are coming from a finance background, like they have studied BBA or like they have an accounting institute or college, somewhat like that. But for those who have no uh, prior finance background or an accounting background, FIA is the solution for them. Look at this visual. You see FIA is in the upper stairs and ACC is in the upper stair, and FIA acts as a first step. It makes you ready for the ACC. So it's an entry level qualification beginners with no prior accounting background. And it really do prepare students for the CCA professional exams by establishing a strong foundation in bookkeeping, recording transaction, and financial statements. And in FIA, in this foundation, there are four foundation papers: FA1, MA1, FA2, and MA2. But the full FI qualification do consist of ECC knowledge level also. So in order to get that RQF level 4 diploma, you should complete uh, the knowledge level. So let's move on. We have where does FA1 affect? Where in this pathway FA1 is? Simply, FA1 is the starting point, is the first paper of your FIA or your ACCA learning journey if you're new with finance and accounting. And it really is a very simple and fantastic paper. It's not that much complicated. It really helps student to learn or to start the finance, the terminologies, and uh, all other contents it do have. So, firstly, if I pathway, what normally students do, they start with FA1 regarding the financial transaction, then they progress to MA1 management information, while to continue they go with FA2 maintaining financial records, followed by MA2 managing cost and finance. So, FA1 is the first paper here. In the second point is CCA progressions. When students normally complete their foundation level papers, they go with through the applied knowledge level, then apply skills, and consequently they go to the uh, strategic professional. So now we really comes to our main area or main point. What is FA1? FA1 really consists of Areas like recording the transactions, by itself transactions, journals and ledgers, and trial balance, and in final financial statements. So, firstly, we will be covering what's our transaction, what all financial transactions. Then we will be moving on to journals and ledgers, the accounts in day books, then the trial balance, and at final we will be covering financial statements. Well, the ACCA and the FIA really is somewhat all about accounting. If we are studying foundation, we will be covering financial accounting, we will be covering management accounting, and also in the applied knowledge level, we will be covering cost accounting, and also in your further studies. So it's all about accounting. Why is the accounting really important? You know, accounting help business owner make informed financial decision. Without proper accounting records, it's impossible to know whether your business is growing, breaking even, or losing money. Every transaction matters, and accounting captures them all to give you a clear financial picture. Accounting is by itself, in simple terms, is an is a system for recording, classifying, identifying the transactions, capturing them, and processing them to financial statements. So without this accounting, without this system, you don't really know what's how is your business. It's improving, it's coming down, how much, how is your financial position. So it's all about accounting. Questions. It really answers questions like, am I making a profit? It sees, it compares the income you generated, the expenses you made to measure the business performance. And it also uh, keep track of the financial position of the company. How much cash do I have? Uh, how much liabilities do I have? So, in in other terms, it also considers, do customers owe me money? Uh, can I pay my suppliers? So, they consider the position of the business, how much receivables I have, how much payables, how much liabilities I have. So, I've got some real life examples. Every business transaction can be measured using core accounting elements, from the initial capital invested to daily purchases, sales revenue, and operating expenses. Accounting tracks it all and reveals you true profit. So, accounting records all transactions of the business. Uh, from whether you have started, from your capital invested, then the asset you bought, the expenses you made, the income you generated. So accounting really considers them all. And at the end, through the financial statements, through the reports it's made of, it shows you how well did you perform, uh, how well you are able to meet your obligations, how well is your position. So, complete FA1 syllabus. Uh, it has 13 topics, FA1. I have mentioned 13 maybe in Kaplan, in other like PVP books, there may be less, there may be more. So, there are many areas that we have mentioned here. It starts with foundation and core concepts, the accounting basics, the transaction by itself, the accounting equation, a really important concept in the accounting, double entry bookkeeping, and source documents. Then we move on to books, ledgers, and reconciliation. Books are initially tools in order to record the transactions. Ledgers and reconciliation. Reconciliation means just to match the items. We will be moving on to reporting and correction. So whatever the transactions were, they were maintained, they were brought to the ledgers. So now let's see what happened in the business, and we prepare the accounts. Accounting equation. I previously mentioned this is a really cool topic. The accounting equation is the foundation of all accounting assets, uh, of all accounting. Sorry, and it's equal to assets are equal to capital plus liability, and every transaction that is made to the made in the business, it really affects this. So, what it means? Assets means assets are equal to capital plus liability. Everything a business owns is funded either by the owner's capital or borrower liability. The equation must always balance. All resources that I have, or all the assets I have, all the equipments I have, either I have put the money into the business and bought that, or either I have take out a loan, made a liability to finance them. So, example, assets of 10,000 is equal to capital of 6,000 plus liability of 4,000. Both sides are always scale equal like a perfectly balanced scale. So, here I have got assets or resources of 10,000, and I have funded or I have bought those resources through 6,000 of capital. I have invested by myself, and 4,000 I have taken out a loan in order to finance this. Now we move to something more important, the double entry bookkeeping. It's based on a concept. It's based on a concept that is called duality. Duality means that every transaction, every financial transactions uh, has two effects or more than two effects. So this is the duality concept. And the double entry bookkeeping is something which is connected with T accounts. So there are two symbols. In the left side of a T account, there is the debit, which is called debit. It's a symbol. Its symbol is DR, and what it indicates an increase in either assets and expenses, or it indicates a decrease in liability, capital, and income. With reverse, there is credit on the right side of a T account. An increase of in liabilities, capital, and income is shown with the credit, and a decrease of assets and liabilities is also shown with the credit. Source documents. Generally, accounting transactions, a lot of accounting transactions are concerned with documents like invoice, the receipts, or check. So in FA1, we will be covering these. Books of prime entry. Uh, so books of prime entry, these are the books, or like these are tools that we record the day-to-day transactions in it. And these are seven in numbers. And we will be covering each of them in details in FA1 throughout the uh, syllabus, throughout this playlist. We will be covering it. Ledger accounts. A ledger account uses the T account format to record every financial transaction. Each account is divided into three sides: the left side, debit, and the right side, credit. Every transaction affects at least two accounts. One is debited and the other is credited. Ledger account, they are like generally these are T accounts, and they have the similar formats, and what for they're used? They're used to record the financial transactions. Trial balance. So the trial balance at the end of a period, like the year end, all of the amounts, all of the closing balances of all ledger accounts are taken out, and uh, they are matched if either they balance or not. So this trial balance is a list of all ledger account balances at a given date, or normally at a year end. And it's a really important topic. Bank reconciliation. Reconciliation means matching. Uh, it's an area that students often really puzzle, but we will be simplifying it in this playlist. And it's all about comparing the cash book with the bank statement and the bank account. In the final things, in the final issue in today's session, uh, is financial statements. So, whenever you record these transactions, you cannot give them just one by one to the owner or those who are interested in. So you make a summary of all of your transaction, all of your accounts, how much was your revenue, how much you generated, how much you paid for your expenses, how much assets you have got, and how much obligations you have. So these all are presented in the two main financial statements in FA1 and foundation levels are income statement, the statement of profit and loss. It shows the performance of a business over a period of time. And the second one is statement of financial position. Like it simply shows how is your financial status. How much money do you owe? How much money you have? Are you able to meet your obligations or not? So these were a overview of the paper FA1 and also an introduction with the with FI. Uh, with regard to ACCA, we have recorded a video on our YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, try to go and watch that. It has a really great contents in it, uh, and really be notified and that our playlist for FA1 regarding the financial regarding the financial transactions uh, are developing. We are working on it, and uh, like this video, subscribe to the channel that you don't miss. Bye bye.